Good afternoon. It's Friday afternoon, approximately 3:30 on the 26th of October. We're bringing this program today. It's very, very important. We want everybody to listen. We have a major storm possibly to hit us on Monday and Tuesday. And we want to talk about it. There's a state of emergency. I declared it today for the oncoming week. And we want to talk about what that state of emergency is about and what you can do to help and everybody and where you'd have to go in case of an emergency. So with me today, I have our Director of Public Safety, Fred Harran. And to my left, your right, I have our Director of Public Works, Jim Ryan. So we're going to start out by talking about all of the emergency apparatus, types of things, fire, police, emergency, anything to do with that. And we certainly, and the Director will lay up our plan that we have here, and it's in a major booklet here, and the Director will be talking about that. So you want to start out, Director, and start talking about how this takes place and,
sure.
How the public can help us.
Sure. Well, Mayor, as you said, we started preparing for this morning with some meetings and getting folks on board. One of the things that we do, as you know, is we contact all the volunteer firehouses to make sure that they're manned during the height of the storm, because as the storm arrives, it's hard for the volunteers to get in, so we make sure that the firehouse is all manned. We also start moving EMS apparatus around. I've been in contact numerous times today with Director Topley. We'll have extra paramedic units on board during the storm, more than normal, and we'll be putting them at strategic locations throughout the township to increase our response times because of weather and down wires and trees and poles and things of that nature, so that our EMS response won't be hindered by the storm. And of course, as you know, also we're bringing in extra police to make sure that we can cover all the calls as quickly as possible. We also go through our special needs list, those folks that need help, that we know are on oxygen, that we know that if the power goes out, we need to get to them. As long as they have signed up with us throughout the year, we have that, and we'll have that in our command center on Monday when we activate first thing
Maybe
Monday
if someone
morning.
has a special need and they're not signed up,
Sure.
They should get in touch with the police department ASAP.
Yes.
So hopefully they'll do
Well,
that.
they can call in, certainly, but the other thing we would want people to do right away, if they want, is you can go to the Township or the Police Department website at spenceonpolice.org, and you'll see an icon, Ready Notify PA. Sign up there, and what that'll do is that'll keep you informed. We'll be able to push out all the alerts and information, and that gets people notified of any of the impending disasters and emergencies that might come up. And we've got a lot of other things going. As you said, you know, we have evacuation centers. We don't list them beforehand, but we've been in contact with the school district. Dr. Baugh and his people have been super. They're on board with us, as they are through any type of emergency that we have in the township. And depending on when we start to lose power in the township, or the trees that come down, and if we have to evacuate different neighborhoods and houses for one reason or the other, we do have facilities to house all those folks for a certain period of time, and we're very capable of handling that.
And we're here 24 hours, 7 days, so we'll bring you an update as this storm. Know exactly where it's going to hit. Right now, the model that they're predicting, and I'll talk to our Director, Jim Ryan, who deals with this on an hourly, half-hour basis, and he has the module always in front of him. So, Jim, you want to start talking about it?
Well, Your Honor, this morning at 10:30, the emergency management team met, and we had a conference call with our weather person, Rob Garino, and he gave us the complete update to that time. This, like you said before, this is a major storm. It could be the worst storm that this area has felt in over 100 years. They're expecting, as of 10:30 this morning, they were expecting over 6 inches of rainfall, heavy wind. The track of the storm is still a little bit up in the air, and he keeps me advised on actually where the storm is and where it's supposed to go. So we are on top of it in that area. But again, the heavy rain and the high winds are going to be a real challenge for us over the next 3 or 4 days.
Talk a little bit about personnel and what you're doing there.
Right now, actually starting yesterday, the Public Works Department went out. We started clearing storm drains. We will have a full staff in tomorrow, continuing on storm drainage work. The crew today was filling sandbags. They were being delivered to different areas. We do have a limited number. I don't have a lot, but I do have 1,000 sandbags that are available that, if need be, over the course of the next few days, that we could get them out and get them in place in some areas. Not that it's a great help, but any little bit helps.
Jim, unlike a snowstorm, there are some ways that the public can help us in the streets. Why don't you talk about leaves?
Our biggest thing right now at this time of the year with the leaves and everything that's falling, storm drains get clogged, and if a homeowner knows that he has a storm drain in front of his house, if he could go out and keep that clear before the heavy rain starts, so the water has somewhere to go, it'll be a terrific help for him and his neighbors, and also for us.
Yeah, don't go out when it storms at its
Before
worst.
the storm.
Don't go out there if a tree, limbs could hit you or anything. We're talking ahead of time here.
That is correct.
To be prepared. We don't want you out there in any danger whatsoever. As the director said, this could be one of the worst storms in the last 100 years. We're hoping for the best, absolutely hoping for the best, that it could veer off somewhere or not come to us, but we're preparing for the worst. So, Director, you want to bring us up to date on a couple other things? I know you talked about evacuations if possible, and I think that we will bring them up to date on. We'll come back on screen. And so watch your TV, your local station here on our government channel, because we want to bring you and protect them the best we can.
Sure. By Monday morning, depending on how the storm's looking, we'll have more definite plans of where those centers will be, but most likely we'll have 3 shelters up and running. Most people wind up going to neighbors, or not neighbors, but relatives, and they'll leave the area. The other thing we want to remind people is if the water looks like it's too high to drive through, please don't drive through it. Actually, a law was just passed just recently that you can be billed if emergency services have to come out and pull you out of rising water because you decided to drive through it. If it looks like you can't drive through it and there's a car that's already stuck in it, don't drive through it, because you're just tying up emergency services, and we have to send people out to get you out of that. And we normally have a lot of people that try to do that sort of stuff. So that really helps us out by not doing crazy things like that. And just as Jim said, take care of the leaves, and police your own property, and just try to be patient and work with us. If it's as bad as they're predicting, we'll deal with it, but we need people to help us and be patient many times.
And one of the things we're going to do is stay on it 24 hours a day and make sure that we do as much as we can possibly do to get it done. Now, when your power lines go out or things like that, or trees are falling, you have to understand we don't put back the power lines. I mean, that's going to be PICO, so we're not there to do that. We'll have crews out as far as trees go. Incidentally, before I go back to Jim and talk about the trees, clear up anything you have outside, chairs, anything of your summer, whatever, your patios, because it could hit your home or it could hit a neighbor's home, windows and things like that. So make sure you secure everything that's outside. Jim, about trees that come down and what do people do, and as far as notification?
Well, I guess the best thing, Your Honor, if try the Public Works number at 215-633-3734. Try that number first. If you get the voicemail or you don't get an answer, because most of the people will be out on the street, they could call into the police department or call into the administration office at the township at 633-3600. Those phones should be manned during the storm. Report if there's a falling tree. If it's in any wires, please stay away from it. Notify us. Notify PICO. PICO's Emergency Operations Center is in service as of right now. It started, I guess, around noontime or earlier this morning, so that is up and running. You could get that number out of your phone book or dialing information. Notify them, and they will actually send crews out as soon as possible. They do have a procedure on who gets power restored first. It's critical hospitals and
priorities
priorities are first, and then filters down. So notify them. Our Public Works Department and our tree contractors that we have contracted with will not remove trees from power lines. If the tree is tangled up in the power lines, it has to be cleared by PICO before we'll actually remove it.
Another thing, phones go out. You have cell phones. Most people have cell phones. I hope most of you have a charger in your car, that if there's no power, that you could put it in your cigarette lighter, charge your phone that way, so your cell phone, at least you have some communication that way. So all these little things are very, very important. We lose electric, there's no question about refrigerators are out and all of those things. So try to prepare for that. Try to make sure you have goods in the home that don't have to be cooked, or your breads and different items, whatever, canned, that can be used without cooking. It's important that, we're giving you the worst scenario. I hope you understand that, but we had to be prepared. What we hear here, the module, where it's going to hit, how bad it could be, we got to be prepared for that. Do you have anything to add?
Well, just two things, stock up on flashlights and batteries.
Yep.
Try not to just rely on candles, because they pose other problems, especially when the wind starts kicking up, if you have windows open because there's no air conditioning or no heat going. And the other thing is, just to piggyback on what Jim was saying, trees are down, things. If you think it's electrical, call 911. If just because you call a phone you don't get somebody, throw it into the 911 system. They have extra dispatchers on in county. Don't think about it and think you're overloading the 911 system, please. If it's a danger, somebody's hurt, somebody's injured, somebody needs help, you need help, and you've tried all the inside numbers, call 911. Don't not sit there in distress. Call 911 and we'll get right out to you as soon as possible.
Jim, I give you the last word. Anything you want to add?
Well, that's Fred's right. Call 911 if there's an emergency. That's what it's there for. And one other thing we talked about, patio furniture, trash cans. Trash cans that are left outside that get blown over, and the recycles roll down the street. They are the biggest cause of backups in our storm sewer systems, or just the trash blowing down and covering it up. So please, if you can, get your trash cans put away, keep them secured, keep the lids on them and covered, and we'll be back on Monday to give you an update, and just the Public Works Department and the township will be here around the clock until we get through this. Just like any major storm or snowstorm that we have, we'll be here for you.
And in our emergency plan, we actually are prepared here at the township to be able to come in to have power with our generator here. We have a generator in the building that's here all the time. I mean, it's a big generator that goes on every week to test. So we have a generator that will go on. We'll be able to communicate here the best we can, wherever the communication goes if it gets really bad. I know we sound, a little like
doom.
Yeah, but we want you to be prepared for that. We want you to know we're here, and that we'll be back on the air on Monday, or sooner if it calls for it, and bring you up to date on everything. Please, everybody, be part of the team. Try to do your share, and we'll try to communicate with you and do everything we can in the next few days. And let's hope and pray that this thing heads out to the Atlantic and spares all of us. Until Monday, everybody, God bless.